The two main components of a healed mind are trust and forgiveness. Trust that there's a plan, that all things are in your best interest in the end, and in other people's best interests too. And if we follow our heart, we do what is most loving to us. So we treat others the way we want to be treated, and we take action that's honest, in alignment with our values. That is going to produce outcomes, and some of those outcomes, even though they might seem like chaos, or maybe it means leaving a marriage, or maybe a child gets injured, or something happens that's outside of your control. Trust is a pivotal component to be able to have peace, and that's going to come from a spiritual foundation. So having a belief system of something greater than yourself, that it can guide you. That feels a little steep. Because whenever you go up, there's always down. Whenever there's down, there's always an up. But trust that there's something greater, and that there's a plan. And having a spiritual foundation is something that, looking into what your beliefs are, and whether it's derived from different religions or not, that's not really the point. It's getting to a place where there's a surrender that things have purpose and meaning, and there's a divine plan for you and for everyone else, and even in the hard stuff, there's purpose in that. And then the second component of a healed mind is forgiveness. So trust is number one, forgiveness is number two. Forgiveness is not saying, oh, what you did was so bad and I pardon you, or I choose to release you because I'm the better person. True forgiveness is seeing that nothing was done, that the other person, whatever they did, even if it was totally not okay. So we're not saying that their behavior was okay, but what we're saying is that somehow, in some way, that was their best. Whether it was their trauma, their conditioning, their addiction, in that moment, they couldn't have done differently. And they were hurting. They were hurting and they didn't know what to do. Now, when people do things because they're hurting, they deserve love and compassion and gentle correction or boundaries. So we're not doormats. We don't allow people to abuse us. That's not loving. It's not loving to allow people to abuse you. But it is going to bring you peace to be able to release them and see their innocence, because as you see the innocence in others, that's how you know it for yourself. That's how you know that you are also forgiven. And this is how you access the guiltless mind. The mind that knows, you can only do your best, and your best is enough, but your best will get better with love. And same goes for others. So if we're attacking others and putting others down for what is their best, that will also not necessarily be what's going to create change. It's usually the love. It's self-love. So you're not responsible if other people don't love themselves, but you won't make it better for them by attacking them. So your overall better outcomes for them and for yourself, because when you're compassionate with others, you will be more compassionate with yourself. And when you're compassionate with yourself, you'll be more compassionate with others. And that's why forgiveness, or seeing the innocence in others, another downhill, here we go, woo! Seeing the innocence in others is part of the healed mind. And then we don't have guilt, we don't have shame, and we release attack thoughts. So when you see the innocence in yourself, you see it in others, you stop attacking. You start giving love and compassion to yourself and others, and you're able to have peace and not fight with people, because basically when they call for love with their behavior, whatever it might be, whatever's less than loving, you're going to have the capacity to respond with love. And this is going to bring incredible peace to your life. Here's my, no, it's not. So I'm working hard here, I'm working hard. So two components: trust and forgiveness, or releasing attack thoughts towards yourself and others. And this is how we access the guiltless mind, and the mind that surrenders into trusting that we're here for a reason. You're here to learn and to grow and to have this human experience, but it's not what you are. You're spirit. And I hope that if you don't have a spiritual understanding of why you're here, I hope that you can maybe start thinking about that. And you don't need religion to have a spiritual understanding of what you are. All the religions will point in the direction of mercy, right? And that mind that knows only peace. And in obviously, Western society here, although I absolutely have studied all the religions in depth, Christianity has the notion of the only way to God is through Jesus Christ. And I'm gonna be so bold to say that's true, but it's not Jesus the man, it's Christ that is the key. And Christ, what is that? That's the embodiment of the trusting, forgiving energy, right? The perfect love. So in Islam, the most merciful, right? And that's the capacity to surrender into what is perfect love. And when your mind is like the mind that was in Jesus Christ, that's the mind that knows I and my Father is one. That is the mind that you need to have in order to understand the Father. And that is why that term, the only way to the Father is through Jesus Christ, is true, but only if you take it symbolically in the sense of the Christ energy in the mind that's in Christ also being you. And if you can resonate with that, you can also see that every single religion teaches this. The Buddha mind, the believer, right? So that was a little bit off track, but sometimes you just gotta flow with it. So trust, forgiveness, and achieving the mind that knows perfect love, that releases all attack and sees the innocence in everybody. Forgive them. They know not what they do, right?